Okay, I'm gonna make this fast because this is like my fourth take, and everything keeps being too long or I mess up. So I want to read. It's Wednesday of Bam Book Week, and I wasn't gonna read to you today because I'm not feeling very good. But I decided that you would feel cheated if I didn't read to you. So today I'm reading from my favorite Harry Potter book, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Harry felt his feet slam into the ground. His injured leg gave way, and he fell forward. His hand let go of the Triwizard Cup at last. He raised his head. "Where are we?" he said. Cedric shook his head. He got up, pulled Harry to his feet, and they looked around. They had left Hogwarts grounds completely. They had obviously traveled miles, perhaps hundreds of miles, for even the mountains surrounding the castle were gone. They were standing instead in a dark, overgrown graveyard. The black outline of a small church was visible beyond the large yew tree to their right. A hill rose above them to their left. Harry could just make out the outline of a fine old house on the hillside. Cedric looked down at the Triwizard Cup and then up to Harry. "Did anyone tell you the cup was a portkey?" he asked. "Nope," said Harry. He was looking around the graveyard. It was completely silent and slightly eerie. "Is this supposed to be part of the task?" "I don't know," said Cedric. He sounded slightly nervous. "Wands out, do you reckon?" "Yeah," Harry said, glad that Cedric had made the suggestion rather than him. They pulled out their wands. Harry kept looking around him. He had yet again the strange feeling they were being watched. "Someone's coming," he said suddenly. Squinting tensely through the darkness, they watched the figure drawing nearer, walking steadily toward them between the graves. Harry couldn't make out a face, but from the way it was walking and holding its arms, he could tell it was carrying something. Whoever it was, he was short and wearing a hooded cloak pulled up over his head to obscure his face. And, several paces nearer, the gap between them closing all the time, Harry saw that the thing in the person's arms looked like a baby. Or was it merely a bundle of robes? Harry lowered his wand slightly and glanced sideways at Cedric. Cedric shot him a quizzical look. They both turned back to watch the approaching figure. It stopped beside a towering marble headstone, only 6 feet from them. For a second, Harry and Cedric and the short figure simply looked at one another. And then, without warning, Harry's scar exploded with pain. It was agony such as he had never felt in all his life. His wand slipped from his fingers as he put his hand over his face. His knees buckled. He was on the ground, and he could see nothing at all. His head was about to split open. From far away above his head, he heard a high, cold voice say, "Kill this bear." A swishing noise, and a second voice which screeched the words to the night, "Avada Kedavra!" A blast of green light blazed through Harry's eyelids, and he heard something heavy fall to the ground beside him. The pain in his scar reached such a pitch that he retched and then diminished. Terrified of what he was about to see, he opened his stinging eyes. Cedric was lying spread-eagle on the ground beside him. He was dead. For a second, that contained an eternity, Harry stared into Cedric's face, at his open, gray eyes, blank and expressionless as the windows of a deserted house, at his half-open mouth, which looked slightly surprised. And then before Harry's mind had accepted what he was seeing, before he could feel anything but numb disbelief, he felt himself being pulled to his feet. The short man in the cloak had put down his bundle, lit his wand, and was dragging Harry toward the marble headstone. Harry saw the name upon it flickering in the wand light before he forced around and slammed against it. Tom Riddle. That is it, and that was from Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Poor Cedric, but he went on to become a vampire, sparkly one. So I will catch you tomorrow. The next 2 days I'm going to be reading from a couple of my most favoritist books ever. So, see you then. Have a good day. Bye.